Welcome back to another episode of Goat Worthy Reactions, where we mainly like to focus on the goats on this channel. And today we got Tool once again. This is the song H. Now this one's been highly requested. I think it was like 9th on the list because I got a whole bunch of high requests from the comment section. But then, you know, the ones who actually pay or donate for certain requests, they take priority, obviously. And shout out to who requested this one. Sorry, let me get this one right. Jessica. We got a female Tool in the chat. Shout out to Jessica. She pushed this one to the front. She asked me where it was at. I said it's like 9th on the list, but within next 2 weeks we'll probably get to it. She was like, I need you to get to it now. I was like, okay, let's do it then. So here we are with H. Sign up for the Patreon if you haven't signed up just yet. Become a free member. Check out the tiers. Let me know if it's something you're interested in. Every month, 10 people will get a free entry, pretty much 30 days free on the Patreon, just to check out. All access to it. You get everything on there. So let's not waste no more time. Let's get into it. I got the lyrics pulled up. I got the lyric video pulled up as per requested by Jessica. She said, make sure you do the lyric video. Turn this up, turn this up. Let's go. Ooh.
What's coming through is a lie. What's holding up is a mirror. What's singing songs is a snake. Looking to turn my pistol wide. They're both totally void of hate. Killing me just the same.
Okay.
Snake behind me hisses what my damage could have been. My blood before me begs me, open up my heart again.
I gotta run it back. These lyrics are so dense. And when I mean dense, like he finds ways to not even use he does use special words. He does use words that are pretty unordinary. He does have a unique verbiage selection. But outside of that though, he doesn't even have to have. It's how he uses everyday words. He's so, and that's like where the real creativity comes. But all right, I'm trying to follow. He said, "What's Let me not even predict. Let's just. I gotta hear it one more time. I like the beat though. Interesting enough, he's riding the beat again. We just went through this on Ladder. Was it Sober or I forgot what song it was, but he's riding the beat like this is not. I'm not used to this Tool. This is a different Tool for me. What's coming through is alive. Okay.
What's holding up
Is a mirror. I like how soft he is.
singing songs is a snake. Looking to turn my pistol wide. They're both totally void of hate. Killing me just the same.
Interesting. Woo.
Snake behind me hisses what my damage could have been. My blood before me begs me, open up my heart again.
Ooh.
I feel this coming over like a storm again. Considering me.
I like how he just threw that in there. Ooh. Okay, let's pause real quick because he's getting, man, he's not easy to follow. at all. I like what he's doing though. It's definitely some once again some more biblical imagery. That might not even been the intention behind this because the snake is the symbol of which he's trying to describe right now. But let's read the lyric. Let's get a little more into the lyrics because interesting. What's coming through is alive. What's holding up is a mirror. This already feels like self-confrontation. Whatever is alive in front of him feels like, to me, it feels like new life, new responsibility, something innocent enough to where he was able to describe it that it forces him to look at himself differently. Maybe I'm trying to figure out what the mirror situation is. The mirror could just be a line that's just, it could be powerful in its own way because sometimes well, I don't want to say love, but I want to say love does that, right? It doesn't just comfort you. It could expose you too. It could expose you for sure. But what singing songs is a snake? But I'm wondering if he's talking about himself at the same time. He's breaking down the barriers of the two sides he is. But the whole what's holding up, what's coming through is alive. That's throwing me off a little bit. So the snake feels like the old voice, right? The temptation a little bit, trauma, fear. We know Maynard's been through a lot, so this could be just the version of yourself, that talks smooth to convince you to stay broken, right? What makes that deep though is that he doesn't describe it as pure hatred. Like that's not the vibes I'm getting right now. He says they're both totally void of hate. Interesting line. That's interesting to say. He's letting us know he's being very specific, right? Without being plain, because he's not a plain guy. He's a lyricist. They're both totally void of hate and killing me just the same. So this isn't a good versus evil situation. Right? That's not that. It's more complicated than that. And I think we're gonna figure out more as we go along. But yeah. Feels like transformation almost, but from what to what? Who's involved? The parties. The snake behind me hisses what my damage could have been. Okay, the snake behind me hisses. So that sounds like the past, really, right? This is when I think of when I listen to Maynard, I focus a lot on just trauma and things like that because that's from what I've heard so far, it's been a big topic of his writing. It sounds like the past whispering almost, right? Like this version of him is shaped by that same trauma, right? For lack of better words. I don't know. I'm having a brain fart right now. At the same time, it's a reminder. It's like it's reminding him what he could become if he doesn't change. What does he say? He said something about my blood begs. Oh, here it goes. My blood before me begs me. That is interesting. Open up my heart again. My blood before me begs me, open up my heart again. So does he have any kids? That sounds like fun. Okay, hold on. If we connect that to the first line, what did he say in the beginning? What's coming through is alive. Yeah, when I read new life, I was talking about like him changing his life, but new life now could mean like maybe he's just having a kid, or his kid is going through a certain period in his life. I can't tell whether it's a girl or boy, but or if it is even that. But if it was, I don't think this is not the type of energy you would speak to your daughter with, right? And I don't know if he has any kids, right? And but that's what I'm getting now. I'm getting like more of this sounds like fatherhood, right? It sounds like his bloodline is in front of him now. His child is like forcing him to reopen parts of himself. He may have shut down a while ago for survival, right? And that's heavy. That's heavy. I need to hear more. What is this venomous stuff he's talking about right now? I love how he's digging into the character of the snake. Not really the character of the snake, but just the characteristics that it carries and how it can be in anyone. Right. Right. Turn it up.
Snake behind me, this is what my
is hella deep. I gotta hear that again. Wow. Hold on, because I'm liking that sound that's about to come in. But these I can't let this play too long, man. I'm gonna forget. I'm gonna forget my thoughts, man, because his lyrics are too freaking dense. So I did find that interesting. So going to the beginning, venomous voice tempts me and drains me. It bleeds me. I like the imagery because now the snake becomes clearer, right? Obviously, it's not just fear now. It's the inner voice that pretty much drains the life out of you while pretending to protect you. So that's like that little double play, right? It's the great deceiver, of course. I feel like that kind of voice, though, can sound like wisdom at times, which is why a lot of us fall for it. Leaves me cracked and empty, drags me down like some sweet gravity. Some sweet gravity. So that phrase right there, sweet gravity. I've never heard that before. Maynard, he said stuff I never heard before. So like, I love how those are just two regular words, right? Sweet and gravity. The way he puts them together, that's awesome. I'm sure that means something. I'm just not familiar with it, but it's crazy because destructive patterns don't always feel ugly at first, and I feel like that's the message he's trying to point. He's trying to paint right there, because sometimes they feel familiar though, right? And sometimes the thing pulling you down feels comforting at times because it's what you know. So the familiarity is what you gravitate towards, right? Gravitate. So sweet gravity. Boom, there it goes right there. Boom, there it goes right there. That's what he's talking about. That just happened in real time. But I feel like that ultimately that's what makes change so hard, right? So I am too connected to you to slip away, to fade away. This is the turning point, I feel like, right now. Even in his voice a little bit as well. That connection is stronger than the snake itself, right? Because he's saying this bond is too real for him to, disappear or like for him to revert back to his old self. And if this is fatherhood, right, that makes it even more powerful, I think, because sometimes a child doesn't just enter your life; they interrupt your destruction. So it's so crazy how he's able to paint this way. It's really touching me, honestly. And I know he gets into that too, touching me. But like, it's really remarkable how he's writing this. This is just really remarkable because it's such a unique way to describe something that so many people can relate to, right? But just the way he's painting it just makes it feel so abstract and, esoteric. Touching me, changing me, and considerably killing me. That is interesting. That line right there is actually quite brilliant because it's not killing him with cruelty. That's not what he's describing. It's killing the old version of him with tenderness. Got me thinking about Jimmy right now. I loved his tone on Jimmy, but this is really reminding me of Jimmy as far as like where he was mentally in Jimmy and where he's at here. They're kind of similar spaces. I don't know what time frame this is, but it just really and it also reminds me of the idea of scripture too. It reminds me of the idea of scripture like that, like old things, that old things pass away, right? And new things begin. So not in a preachy way, like he's not doing this in a obviously, right? It's Maynard, but in the real, just I feel like internal. He's an introvert, I think. I really do think he's an introvert. If it wasn't for music, he'd be super introvert, I believe, because he's approaching this with a real internal sense, where becoming better still feels like death to him because something in him he feels maybe he has to surrender, right? He has to surrender. maybe get rid of his old self so that he's able to actually raise his young boy, right? If he has a son. So in order for him to raise his son, he has to actually solve not the mystery, but the trauma and the issues, and face the fears, and shake the snake of the past of Jimmy, little boy Jimmy, right? So in order for him to do that, he has to tap in with young Jimmy, 11 years old. And he has to be able to raise his new son, right? Jimmy Jr. at this point, I don't know his name, and do that accurately. And yeah, interesting. All right, let's keep it going. Cool sound, I like that. Hey, what instrument is that? What instrument does that? And do they do anything electric? Meaning, is any of their productions digital? Do we know anything? Do we know if any of the guys are actually producers who like produce digital quality sounding songs, or is everything raw instrumentation? I know some bands use a little bit of digital, but most bands use raw instrumentation. Let me know. Weird video. Oh my God, the snake is so prevalent in this song. Without the skin, okay, so shedding skin. Yeah, okay. Storm. Under these tears now, the walls came down. As the snake is drowning, as I look in his eyes, my fear begins to fade. Yeah, son. Times I could have cried then. I should have cried then. As the walls come down, and as I look in your eyes, his son begins to fade. Calling all of the times I have died, will die. It's alright. I don't mind. I don't mind. Ow. I've never heard a guitar like that. I am too connected to you. Slip away, fade away, days away. I still feel you touching me, changing me, considering killing me. Hey. Okay, so he said this time in that verse he mentioned looking his second time he said your eyes, right? Because now I think he's more so talking to his boy. Now that he's put a pronoun to it, look in his eyes, right? Because he shed the skin of the snake and drowned the snake, and now he's looking into the eyes of his son, the new life, the thing that's alive in front of him. If we're going all the way to the beginning of the song now, and there was some remnants of it in the middle of the song too, not too much. So like I was kind of losing the idea of the son, and kind of more so he had me focusing on the snake, and you know what? That might have been his intention. The snake just deceives us, distracts us, and if that was intentional, that's I don't know, bro. This guy just writes. This guy he writes so amazingly. He writes so amazingly. I wouldn't change a thing about how he wrote this. I really wouldn't. I really wouldn't. So once the snake is drowned, and as I look in his eyes, my fear begins to fade. So my fear begins to fade. I'm looking in the eyes of my son. I've drowned the snake. My son is becoming, or I have hope that he's going to become someone of good character, or whatever the case may be, whatever his hopes and dreams are for his child. That really just confirms it for me, because he looks into his son's eyes and the fear starts losing power now, right? And well, and not because life suddenly became easy, but more so because love gives him a reason to fight the old voice. You know what I'm saying? Now there's a little bit of more responsibility, so that he's forced almost, right? He's forced to be courageous now and defeat the enemy. Recalling all of the times I could have cried, I should have cried then. That's, to me, that's emotional maturity. I've been there for different reasons, but he's actually, I feel like he's realizing how many times he buried pain instead of processing it. And now, I guess those walls that he's talking about, I guess those walls have come down, or they're coming down. So in no shape or form is that weakness. That's actually healing right there. Recalling all the times I should have died and will die. And he softly says, it's all right. I like that. So I guess that's more towards the ending. And I like that because it sounds like not understand. What's the word I'm thinking about? Not understand. It sounds like acceptance, right? Like he's coming to an acceptance. He wouldn't have been able to say that lyric without saying the first recall, right? Without saying the first recall, which is dealing with the trauma and understanding that you've handled things poorly in the past, but now it's time to do things more accurately, and now you have more purpose. And yeah, his son, his new life is forcing him to do just that. So I like he understands that growth requires, I guess, repeated deaths, right? Like you have his mother and you have just other close people in your life, but different types of death of ego, death of fear, death of old habits, death of the person, I guess, you were before love demanded more from you, because his son is now demanding. That's like those two things, right? That don't have any fault. Like what he said? He said something about those two things didn't, like, it's not other side of their fault. You know what? Also, his father, I don't know enough about his relationship with his father, but that's another angle that we could be looking at as far as, I don't know if his father failed him or not, but if so, that could be a whole nother angle. I won't get into that, but that could be a whole nother angle. I can deep dive into that, but I don't know much about him and his life. I know about his mother. I don't know about his father. I haven't read it. I'm sure there's been some comments, but I haven't read those yet. Dope, deep lyrics, man. And this just feels very human, man, very human. And I always get that human grounded vibe from Maynard for sure, because it's relevant. Like the reason why I was getting lost in the whole son and snake thing is because the song it's actually not just about fatherhood, right? And I think he didn't want to zero in laser focus on that, because I think there's a broader spectrum happening here, because it's actually about what happens when love, I guess, becomes strong enough to make a man face himself in some type of way, right? Because I'm not saying he struggles doing that, but I'm sure he has he's done it and has fought against it, right? For majority of his life, it seems, right? Based on his lyrics that I've taken in so far. And I just feel like the snake doesn't die because he fought harder. Like that's not really the victory. To me, it's more like the snake dies because he finally had something worth changing for. So he had the power. And like, it reminds me of, I just did the Rolling Stones reaction, and they was talking about Sympathy for the Devil, right? The song. And in there, Mick Jagger explains in his own creative way, which is just as dense as Mick Jagger. To me, with one song I've heard from Rolling Stones, Mick Jagger to me is the closest thing that I've heard to Maynard lyrically dense-wise, because he found a way to describe a similar situation where you remove the fault to the pointing, right? Stop pointing, blame the devil, because the devil does nothing. He doesn't force you to do anything, right? If you believe in such a figure, he doesn't force you to do anything. He just whispers and deceives you, and then you do it, and he gets satisfaction out of you doing the own tactics that are going to form into habits that will ultimately lead to your self-destruction. And I think that is there's like I don't, if the devil's real, I don't think there's any gratification in him hurting you or making you do things. Like, to him, it's like puppets on the strings. He wants to manipulate you to do it. That's what he gets his satisfaction from. He wants to manipulate you to do things so that you can do it to yourself, self-destruct. That's amazing. I got nothing else for this record. It's amazing. This song is great. I'm gonna have to hear this because of the vibes of it. It was a different vibe for me. I'm gonna have to hear this a lot more. Lateralist was like my favorite song now. I think it's bumped sober. I'm not gonna lie. I think it has. This is up there. This I can see growing on me more so, like bumping it way more and liking it way more, and it could literally potentially become my favorite. But it's up there. I like it a lot. Appreciate y'all. Get in the comment section. Give me some backstory. I know y'all know, take it easy on me. Y'all know I don't know the history of these guys. I don't know anything about them. So I take whatever I have in the lyrics and whatever you guys give me in the comment section, and I try to make it make sense, and I try to remember them. I take screenshots of comments, save them in my notes, and hopefully I can apply those notes to a later song. That way I can get the whole picture together as best as possible. But yeah, get in the comment section. Let me know what you want to see next. If you want to donate to see something a little sooner, hit the link in the description box below, of course. Send that donation right through. Appreciate you. I'm trying to go full time with this. I'm trying to do my thing. But I want to do it the right way. I want to do right by you guys who are really invested in this stuff, and I'm invested as well. I'm having a great time with this rock journey. So yeah. Sign up for the Patreon if you want to see some other cool rock reactions. I'm on an entire rock tour for the next couple months. Yeah, sign up for the Patreon, join for free, check out the tiers, see what you like. Tier 2 gets 50% of all journeys and album reactions. Tier 3 gets the full access. Join the Tier 1 and just have an experience of early access to things that get posted on YouTube. Anyways, we out.